Hello there, and welcome to the Proudly Zambian Podcast. This is a place where we shine a spotlight on local legends, innovative products and services, and the incredible spirit that makes Zambia truly great. I'm your host, Rose Chikotola. So, let's think local first, have some fun, and show the world exactly why Zambia rocks. Thank you for joining us for the first ever episode of the Proudly Zambian Podcast. This is your go-to platform celebrating local excellence, promoting Zambian-made products and services, and championing the spirit of national pride. For the next few weeks, we'll be bringing you inspiring stories from Zambian entrepreneurs, businesses, artists, yes, I said it, innovators and change makers who are building a stronger, self-reliant Zambia, one product and service at a time. So, the podcast is brought to you by the Proudly Zambian Campaign, which is a national buy local initiative that is all about celebrating local. It's here to spotlight Zambian-made products and services, and just to remind all of us that when you support local, you're not just buying things, you're building dreams, creating jobs, and growing our economy from the ground up. Let's get into it with our first episode and our very first guest, Kim from Umoyo. Welcome. Hi, Kim. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Great. Just to get to know our first guest on this podcast, I've got a few questions for you. Which one do you prefer, Nshima or chips?
Ooh, I think it must be Nshima, hey?
It hurts the tummy, eh? Okay. Are you a morning person or night owl?
I am definitely a morning person. I go to bed before my kids, to be honest.
Wow, interesting. Chitenge or denim?
Although I love shitenge, I find the colors are sometimes a little bit too bright for me. So I gotta go with denim.
Have you tried mixing the two before?
Absolutely. That's a really good suggestion. I'll have to try and do
you
that.
You should,
yeah.
And please send us pictures. What is your favorite Zambian word?
Zikomo.
Wow, zikomo. Okay. Home gym or home spa?
I'm more of a gym girl.
Yeah, you look that. You look the part. Great. If you were to describe Zambia in one word, what would that be?
You know, the first word that comes to mind without even thinking is just peace.
Peace. No, we are peaceful people, aren't we?
100%, yes.
Great. So, without putting any pressure on you, you are the first guest on this podcast. That means you are setting the tone for everybody else who will come on this podcast. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I'm greatly honored. And I think this podcast, it's such a great initiative for the Proudly Zambian Campaign. And I can't wait to hear the stories of all the incredible people and businesses that we'll be interviewing along the way.
Great. So for our listeners, I'm sure you've been hearing me say Kim. So who is Kim? Give us a brief intro about who Kim is.
Well, I'm just a regular human being. I'm originally from Sweden, but I came to Zambia in 1980.
Wow.
So I was 3 years old back then. So Zambia, it's my home. My whole life is here. And I have no plans of going anywhere, really. And of course, I started my business here, which is Umoyo Natural Health. That was back in 2007.
Okay.
So it's been going for a very long time.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there anything else in particular you'd like to know?
Aside from having Umoyo as your business, I know you are the chairperson of the Proudly Zambian Campaign. Is that right?
Absolutely. And it's in that capacity that I'm here today. Yes.
Yeah, just giving context to our listeners, she is the chairperson of the Proudly Zambian Campaign. And we would want to know what inspired you to be part of the Proudly Zambian Campaign.
Well, I sit as a board member on the Zambian Association Zambian Association of Manufacturers, and all board members, they have to be responsible for a particular area, or they're assigned to a particular committee. And to be honest with you, when I looked at all the committees, the Proudly Zambian Campaign was the one that stood out to me as this could actually be fun. This is something I want to get involved with.
Okay.
And it really has to do with, yes, my passion for Zambia, but also in my belief for, or in, I should say, local potential. And also a frustration seeing imported products dominate when there are local alternatives. And even just if I look at my own business, this was true. One of our first products was alkaline water, that pink water.
Yeah.
And
My favorite.
oh, fantastic. But before we did that, we were importing alkaline water. There was no alkaline water here in Zambia, so we were importing it. We were importing it for our clinic. We wanted to give it to our patients, and then we were selling it in the Umoyo shops. And after a while, I thought, this is ridiculous. Can't this be produced here in Zambia? And we thought, well, let's just give it a go. And that's what we did. We started producing Zambia's first alkaline water. Yay! But it took a very, very long time before we were able to get it into the supermarkets. The supermarkets were stocking the imported water. And I feel that our alkaline water was overlooked despite its quality. So there was a preference for imported over local. And I didn't like what I saw. So but now, of course, I feel that has changed dramatically. Eventually, we did get into the supermarkets. And now, if you go to any supermarket, you'll find lots of local branded alkaline water, which is wonderful to see. And there's not a single imported one on the market, So that's real progress. So I would like to continue and to help to really push that. And then also, the Proudly Zambian Campaign, it's about supporting jobs. It's about fostering economic resilience. And these are the things that I truly believe will transform Zambia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, that's a very detailed background. It's good to know how Umoyo started and how it has progressed now that we are in the supermarkets. So you did mention that the Proudly Zambian campaign looks at supporting local products and services. Is there a memorable experience that you can kind of highlight, an impact where supporting local kind of standouts for you?
Well, once again, using myself and my company as an example, because that's really where my experience is, we produce a product called Red Passion. It's a drink, and it's with pure hibiscus, cinnamon, and lemongrass in it. It's a beautiful drink.
It's rich.
Yeah. And, when we were producing this drink, we were importing hibiscus. From Tanzania, actually. And people loved the drink and were buying more of the drink. So we were importing more and more hibiscus in order to make this drink. And once again, it's like, surely, can we not find hibiscus in Zambia? Nobody was producing it. Nobody was growing it. Yet if you go into virtually anyone's garden, you will find hibiscus growing. It grows naturally. So we started working with 40 farmers. We gave them seed and gave them some training as well in conjunction with World Vision. And they grew hibiscus for us. And that has now grown to over 100 farmers, and it keeps expanding. That's real impact. And that impact is there because people chose to buy this local product of ours, Red Passion, right? Wow. So that's one example. Another example, over the years, Umoyo, in our health shops, we have bought from small businesses, sometimes even like a one-person show kind of thing, small businesses and herbalists, and supported them. And they've grown with us. And I can give you an example. I've worked with one herbalist for almost 20 years now, and he provides various herbal formulas to Umoyo. He now supplies his product to Pick and Pay. You can find his product in Pick and Pay, right? That is
say.
Yes.
Wow.
And how is that possible? Is we believed in him. We believed in buying local, and he has grown as a result. Okay. So there is real impact there. And also, a lot of people have young people have worked at Umoyo or done internships at Umoyo and been inspired by that experience and started their own companies, often with a health perspective. So I've seen it all around. The impact is real.
Great.
When you support local.
That's nice. So it clearly shows that if you buy the Red Passion, you're not only supporting the hundreds of farmers that you have engaged and their families. So it shows the importance of actually supporting
and that's one product. And you can imagine how many products are out there. Yeah.
Wow. And I guess that has changed your mindset when it comes to shopping. For example, when you go into the supermarket, thinking local, how has that changed your mindset?
Well, about thinking local first, I feel that this is a conscious choice, and I have become much more mindful of that. When I'm looking at products, asking myself, is there a local option here? What are my options? So I'm more intentional when I shop. And it's actually come to the point, like, if I look at peanut butter, for instance, we have imported peanut butter on the shelves and we have local. I will always go for the local because in my mind, it is actually of better quality than the imported peanut butter. Even when if I'm buying porridge for my children, I would also opt for a local porridge because I believe in the quality of it. And also it's at a better price point. So you're getting better value when you're buying local as well.
True.
I've become much, much more mindful in always asking, is there a local option? What is the local option? Can I go for that instead?
Great. It's good that you've mentioned quality because the mindset of majority of the Zambians when we talk about Zambian products is that they are of poor quality. What message can you give to Zambians that think like that? Should we tell them, guys, try it out? Try it out for yourselves.
Well, I think in the past, it may have been true. There is some truth of that, where people prefer to buy imported products, but because of a quality issue. But that has changed. I don't think that is true anymore. We have incredible quality locally produced products. But I think part of the problem there is that I have encountered myself is that sometimes the packaging, we don't have that. We're a bit limited in terms of the packaging that we can get here in Zambia, and also the attention to branding. So you can have a great quality local Zambian product, but because the packaging and the branding perhaps isn't on point, people will perceive the product as lower quality. And I think more and more also now we are becoming better at the packaging part, at the branding part, so that now also not only are the products real good quality, but they look like they are real good quality as well. Unfortunately, when it comes to products and things like people do judge the book by its cover.
True. So don't we all? So guilty.
So if we can elevate that, that will really help the Zambian products sell more as well, I believe.
Okay. From your experience, have you faced any challenges with promoting local products? And how did you overcome that?
Well, I think we just spoke about that. One of the major challenges is this perceived that Zambian products are of lower quality. And I think for Umoyo, we spent a lot of time and energy on our branding, making sure that it was always on point and consistent, to the point where people would come to us and say, hey, where is this company from? Are you some franchise here, And that was a real compliment back there. But it shows how important branding is for establishing perceived quality as well. But, the Proudly Zambian logo, we're a Proudly Zambian company, and and I really do feel proud when I put that PZZ logo on our product, and I feel that also helps to boost credibility, not just for us, for any company that is using that logo.
Okay. We've spoken about Umoyo, and I think you've given us a brief background, but maybe you can tell us about the story behind Umoyo. Firstly, why the name?
Oh, the name is a story, hey?
Yeah.
The name is a story. But, Umoyo was born out of passion. It was my passion for natural health and particularly nutrition. And we're from such humble beginnings. I started doing one-on-one consultations from a little room in the flat that I was renting. That's really how it started. And then that grew to a health clinic, where we were helping people overcome chronic illnesses, hypertension, diabetes, those kind of things. And what happened with that was that we were helping people overcome these health challenges, but then there weren't any real quality natural health products at the time. This is back 2007. So Zambia looked very different back then. At the time, there weren't a lot of quality health products to support them on their health journey. And that's when we opened Zambia's first health shop. And that has grown over time to now 9 health shops. We have an online shop. And of course, what I'm really excited about and why I'm involved in this is now that Umoyo has pivoted to become also manufacturers. And the reason for that is because our health shops, they're so limited in number. They're very niche. We can't reach a lot of people. But now when we manufacture our own products and we can put them into supermarkets and healthy foods and drinks, we can reach such a bigger market so more people can access these products. So that's really how the journey has been. But it took a while before I got to the name Umoyo, because when you ask someone what is health in a local language, there's no real word for it. So what I was told is, well, Umoyo is the closest because it means life, but it has a good connotation, good life,
Nice.
So I think it's very, very fitting.
Okay. There's this particular porridge, Umoyo porridge. I can attest to this. My 2-year-old loves it, and every time he's hungry, he'll come, Mommy, Poji, and I always look out for the logo, and it gives me so much pride. At some point, I even showed him, I'm like, do you know that this is Zambian? And he just looked at me like, oh, this woman is crazy. But yeah, that is one of my favorite porridges for my son, and we love it. Now, speaking of porridge, we can see at the back of the products most of the ingredients. So what are some of the local ingredients or traditions or values that are incorporated in Umoyo's products, particularly the porridge? Please give me the intel.
Well, that was the whole point of us becoming manufacturers. We wanted to purchase raw local materials and add value to them. And Umoyo, we're all about health, right? So we're going to want to use ingredients that are full of nutrition. So for the porridge, it's 4 whole grains. So millet, maize, sorghum, and soya. And then what we've also done is take the 2 Zambian superfoods, our most famous ones, which are moringa and baobab. So we put that in the porridge as well. Wow. And the reason for that is just simply to make sure that the nutrition is as high as it possibly can be, right? Yeah. So we are all about using local raw materials that are particularly healthy or nutritious, and that's what we want to use in our products. And the porridge is a great example of that. So it's really about honoring that traditional health knowledge, which has been passed down over generations for hundreds of years here. We don't want to lose that, right? Yeah. But Umoyo is kind of like the bridge between that ancient knowledge and wisdom and more the modern scientific research. Yeah.
Great. It's nice to have somebody talk about our local ingredients with such passion, like the baobab. Who doesn't like baobab? And aside from that, because we're talking about something that is personal to you, is there a moment when you realized a product was truly making a difference in your community and beyond? Aside from the farmers that you've helped, has somebody ever walked up to you to say, look, your porridge is actually making my son gain weight? That's me, by the way. Yeah, so just share a moment where there was that light bulb moment for you that you kind of realized that, oh, okay, so my product is actually making a difference in this community.
Yeah, I must practically every time I go out, there is someone who will come up and say, "Oh, we love your products," or "Your products have helped us. We love the Umoyo products." Even people who've done maybe one of our health programs like 10 years ago will come up just to share their experience. And that's really, it warms my heart. But just actually the other day, I was at a business conference and there was a gentleman there who traveled from the Copper Belt. And he just had to share his story with me because he has a 2-year-old son. They could not get this kid to drink water. He would just drink like juice and milk and stuff, but they couldn't get him to drink water until they gave him our Umoyo alkaline water. And this kid loves it.
I should try that. I never thought of it.
And this father was so grateful, and he just had to share this story with me. But I think that the stories that also warm my heart are people who've struggled to become pregnant, and then they have taken some products from the Umoyo shops that help to balance hormones, and as a result, getting pregnant. We have lots of stories like that. So we do get a lot of people coming to us and sharing how our products have helped them. Yeah.
Great. It's really nice to know how Umoyo is really impacting people's lives, but I'm sure there are challenges that you face in running a business, especially a local business. How did you find the Proudly Zambian movement help you to inspire and overcome these challenges?
Well, for anyone who's run a business, they will know, you will know, all the challenges that are there. They're every day. There are challenges, new challenges. It's like they never go away, right? They never go. It's just part of it. Yeah. But I feel that the Proudly Zambian campaign has helped to provide visibility, also credibility with, putting that logo on the products, and also I think very importantly a sense of community, because it's being part of something bigger, something that's really important, something that means something, right?
True.
And I feel that in and of itself is very motivating.
Wow. And then challenges that you have faced?
Well, there's so many.
That's so many.
Let's not be negative here. Let's focus on the good stuff.
Wow. No, but it's good to, like, for a young entrepreneur starting a business, they would have to know some of these challenges and how to overcome them. And probably one of them is to really follow a passion. If you're passionate about something, you keep pushing for that. So speaking of young entrepreneurs that are dreaming to start their own Proudly Zambian brand, what advice would you give them? Get the logo first?
Well, I think you kind of hinted at it. I think it's so important that you start with purpose. Yeah. There's real purpose, and that involves two things. Yes, you got to have passion. You got to really love and believe in what you do. I think that is so, so vital. But secondly, you also have to make sure that there is a market, that you are solving a real problem, that people really want your product. Because sometimes entrepreneurs, we can get really caught up with doing what we like and what we think is good. And we're not really solving a problem. We're not really doing what the market wants and needs. So you need those two things. You need to solve a real problem, and you need to be passionate. And then I would always say, don't wait for the perfect conditions and circumstances, because they ain't coming.
They ever come?
No, they don't. They never come.
They never come.
You just have to start. You know, as they say, you start where you are with what you have, and you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes. There are probably going to be failures, and that's how you learn. But you got to start. And as you start and you take those steps and you move forward, the path, it unfolds in front of you, and you learn more things, and you see you solve problems like that. So the key is just to start. Yeah. And, be proud of your roots. True. Be proud of being in Zambia, being Zambian, and producing a Zambian product or service. And there is no reason why we can't produce world-class products and services here. And let's aim for that.
Okay. Speaking of being proud of being Zambian and Zambian products, the youths of today, I'll give a practical example of I wore a chitenge to work one day, and somebody asked me what traditional ceremony I'm celebrating. Like, do I have to wear a suit all the time? Why can't I wear and be proud of my chitenge? So with the young generation coming up, what advice would you give them when it comes to being proud of our local products and services?
Yeah. Well, it has to come from within, right?
Yeah,
it has to. You can't tell someone to.
True.
Yeah, but it's it's reflecting and being mindful of these things and recognizing that every kwacha that you spend, that's like voting. You're either voting for the imported products or you're voting for the local Zambian products. What are you voting for? Your kwacha, it has impact how you spend it. True. And I think with the youth, they are so savvy when it comes to technology and social media, and use those platforms, social media, to promote and celebrate Zambian brands, for instance, and even getting involved in the Proudly Zambian campaign, perhaps becoming an ambassador in your own communities. There's lots that you can do. True. And I'd actually love to challenge people,
yes,
youths and otherwise, to try and just buy Proudly Zambian products as much as you possibly can for 1 month and see how you feel. And I think you will be surprised at how many incredible Zambian products there are out there when you start doing that.
That's great. It's good you've talked about them being tech savvy, with social media and everything. So it would be really good to have the young people be the ones to move the agenda of promoting local products and services. Because if, let's say, our Umoyo water goes viral on everybody's socials, I mean, that will be making a difference in so many people's lives, so many communities. And I like that you've challenged us. So I think starting from today, whenever I go into the supermarket, I will be mindful. Like you said, I will be mindful of what I pick and which brands I go for. Very important to support local. And it's really nice to have you here. You've kind of just opened a whole different Pandora box for me to kind of think about even after our session today. So thank you so much for that. And moving forward, our slogan is Think Local First. I know you've mentioned Think Local First is when you go to a supermarket, if there was an example that was given earlier today, if there's X brand of cornflakes and then there's the Zambian brand of cornflakes. So thinking local first would be for you to go for the Zambian brand. What does Think Local First mean for you?
Well, you mentioned a cereal, for instance, Like now, I truly believe that when you're looking at those two, the imported one and the local one, it's not a quality choice anymore, right? The local one will be of high quality most of the time.
True.
So you're not... It's not
crunchier, by the way.
So it's not a quality thing. Like I said earlier, it's a conscious decision. What do I want to support? Where do I want to spend my kwacha? Because it matters. If you spend your kwacha on the local product and the supermarket scene, well, that's what people want. They're going to stock more of that, right? And that's how we build our economy. That's how the economy is going to grow and flourish. And ultimately, truly, that's what we want.
True, very true. We keep going back to quality and the mindset that majority of the Zambians once had. I'm using once had because the narrative is changing, that Zambian products are not of quality. And when you interact with different people and like for the campaign, we do have what we call a catalog, which kind of just showcases some of the Zambian products and services that are listed under the campaign. And it's so surprising that majority of the Zambians would get shocked and say, are you sure this is Zambian? So that just shows that guys, Zambians are producing quality products and services. It's just now knowing which products are there and how people you can reach out to us and we'll show you. We have evidence.
Now we can tell which products are going to be of quality because they are the ones that have that Proudly Zambian logo. Because that logo, it's not about the product being just made in Zambia. It is that the company and the products have been vetted to confirm that yes, they're made in Zambia, but they're also of a certain quality. You can trust this product. That is what that logo means.
Okay. Now, true. You've spoken about the logo, and we've spoken about the campaign, and we've spoken about how Umoyo is a Proudly Zambian Campaign member. So to companies out there who don't have our logo, what advice do you have for them? Should they join? And those companies that are not part of the campaign, but we've seen our logos being placed everywhere and anyhow. What words do you have for such companies?
Well, absolutely, they should join. And as the campaign continues to grow, the value of having that logo on your product will just increase and increase as people become even more aware of it, you know. So, yes, get in contact with the Proudly Zambian campaign through the Zambian Association of Manufacturers and find out more about what it's all about and get your name on the list. Absolutely, 100%, I recommend it. And I feel that there are many side benefits to it as well because the Proudly Zambian campaign through ZAM is part of a lot of interesting events and organizes a lot of events. Where you will learn a lot, you will have opportunities to network and meet other people within the supply chain. And of course, it's the Proudly Zambian, the Quality Awards as well. There's a lot going on within the campaign that you don't want to miss out on.
You can win an award, guys. You can win an award.
So there's a lot going on. So it's not just slapping the logo on your product. There's more to it, yes. So contact the Proudly Zambian campaign and they will tell you all about it and how to go about how to register.
No, that's great. That's great. It was really, really nice having you officially as our first guest. It's strategic, guys. She's the chairperson of the campaign. We just had to have you here. Any last words when it comes to Umoyo and why they're a Proudly Zambian campaign member?
Well, I think don't underestimate the power of small beginnings and the power of linking to platforms like PZC for support and encouragement. It's not just for the big companies. It's for all companies of every size. There is benefit to it.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Like I mentioned, this is our first episode of the podcast, and having you was a huge delight. And we've learned so much about what it means to support local products and services, local entrepreneurs, and also what it means to be a Proudly Zambian campaign member and having that stamp at the back of your products. You had mentioned that before we go anyway, just kind of trying to bring you back about the logo and what that means about the quality of that product and service. What is the process of getting that logo? Do they just get it because they're members? Or is there a process of kind of looking at the quality? Are they a registered company? Because at the end of the day, if we're saying support local, we want them to contribute to the growth of the economy. So is there something that happens during the process of getting the logo as a chairperson? Maybe you can educate us?
Well, let's be very clear. You can't just slap that logo on your product.
True, guys, true.
Don't do that because that logo, that brand, the Proudly Zambian Campaign logo and brand, it's actually owned by the government. Because this whole campaign was started by the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. The Zambian Association of Manufacturers, are just managing it on their behalf. But the logo is owned by the government, right? And there is a whole process that you as a company need to go through in order to get the rights to put it on your product. And it's a yearly thing, a yearly renewal. And the reason for this is that we want it to mean something.
Yeah.
And for it to mean something, then we have to vet the companies. There has to be a level of standard that companies adhere to in order for them to have the privilege to put that logo on their product. And that logo signals the quality of that product and company.
Yes. No, thank you for highlighting that. I think a lot of companies out there don't know, and a lot of consumers out there just think it's any other logo, and they don't know that they can kind of connect that to the quality of the product that they're buying. So we've had a very informative conversation, and it's been good to have you. I keep on saying this, but it's been lovely having you on our podcast. And thank you for educating our listeners on what the Proudly Zambian campaign is, and also just the fun stories of how Umoyo started and how it connects to health and life, and also just the encouraging words that you've had for young entrepreneurs. Just start. Have the passion and just start. And let's always remember to think local first, because at the end of the day, we're growing our economy, we're growing our communities, and we're helping so many families out there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on the podcast, and I cannot wait to listen in to the upcoming episodes. Thank you.
I hope people learn from you. Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Proudly Zambian Podcast. Want to be a part of the show? Share your story or give a shout out to a Proudly Zambian product or service you love. Just send a voice note to pzc@zam.co.zm or WhatsApp us on +260 952 489 717. This podcast is brought to you by the Proudly Zambian Campaign and powered by Unicus Media, helping manufacturing businesses overcome brand invisibility and inconsistency through strategy, design, and visual identity. Email them at hello@unicus.media. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you're listening. Help us spread the local love. Until next time, keep thinking local first.